was monumentally unlucky this game. Like, make no mistake, he is justified in being upset. I just hope it doesn't affect his gameplay too much. Like, there was nothing he could do this game. He gave it the absolute best chance he could, but he just missed on every single piece of card draw in his deck, and then finish up with a burn plan.
Well, maybe you are just supposed to believe, Derek. I don't know. There's just not enough.
Yeah, just gonna be it here. Was the... Yeah, I guess the Nightmare was just about necessary. But unfortunate for Blitzchung, the swing at the end there would have saved him for another turn. Posesi, you are going to the World Championships later on this year.
And he has popped off. That is the first time I've seen a smile that big from Posesi, and I am very sad that only 1 second of it was seen on camera because he had to leave the frame and then come back. But look at the relief on this man's face. This was hard fought.
Hi everybody, I am here with Posesi, who is the most recent champion of APAC Grandmasters, winning just last night at the playoffs. So first of all, big congratulations, Posesi. Omedetou gozaimasu. How are you feeling after your incredible win?
良かったです、本当に。まあ、周りも強い選手が揃ってたんで、今回はトップ4に。まあ、正直ちょっとついてないと勝ちきれないなっていう印象はあったんで、本当勝ててよかったですね。
Very cool. So I actually have a lot of questions today. I hope you don't mind. Some of them are technical and some are a bit more fun. So we'll start with the technical questions. So about your lineup, as you know, the top 4 all had the same 4 classes. So Rogue, Priest, what was it? Warrior and also Demon Hunter, and the only difference was what kind of warrior to bring. So you, Alutamu, and Glory, you're all the first ones to bring Control Warrior to APAC Grandmasters during the last Hero Standing week. But what was the thought process of bringing Rush Warrior instead during Conquest, and how did you come up with the build that includes Naralex and no N'Zoth?
コントロールウォリアー非常に強いんですが、まあ、ちょっとメタられるターゲットにされる危険があって、例えば今回のアラン選手みたいにウォーロックを持ち込んでる方とかになってくると、まあちょっと危険なんですよね。で、アラン選手が結構 EU のプレイヤーと練習してるイメージがあって、で彼が、まあ、結構 EU のプレイヤーウォーロック高く評価してるんで、まあなんかちょっと怖いなって思っちゃって。僕はそういう理由で持ち込みやめました。まあ、もしかしたらアルテムさんのブラケットの方だったら、まあ、持ち込んでもよかったのかもしれないし、ブリッチャン選手は実際それで成功してたので、まあターゲットにされるのが怖かったからですね。で九州ウォリアーのリストは、まあ、ゾスは僕は入ってないんですけど、369の、カメの王とナラレックスを入れてるんですけど、まあ、今回、あらかじめテストサーバーで練習させてもらったんで、九州ウォリアーから、まあ、とりあえず弱いそうなカードを2枚ほど抜いて、新しいレジェンドで入りそうなカードを全部試していったら、まあここら辺はそこそこ強いのかなという形で、まあ、特に亀の王は、まあ、ローグと九州ウォリアに対してだけは多分そこそこ強くて、まあミラーが多いだろうという理由でそこは入れましたね。長くなっちゃいました。
So about the season in general, Posesi, honestly, I think the first couple of weeks in GM didn't go the way you expected. Maybe I even saw some of your tweets earlier on saying that you didn't really feel like you could get wins at some point. But ever since the first week of LHS, you've looked unstoppable. What was the change and what was the turning point?
まあちょっと序盤は敵の種類が多すぎて、でいろんなデッキに手をつけすぎて、なんかちゃんと強い構成を作れなかったかなって感じだったんですけど、まあ環境が固まってきて、でアルテムさんとグローリーさんがやっぱ強いデッキを一緒にちゃんと作ると 仕上げてくれるタイプだったんで、ちょっとまあそこは一緒に練習してくれて本当に感謝だったんですけど、まあ固まってきて、環境が固まってきて、なんかちゃんと強いデッキ持ち込め始めて、僕もちょっと最初は本当にデッキの選択もあんま良くなかったと思うんで、あれはフリーストを持ち込んでいなかったりして、まあ後半はプレイもデッキも良かったんで、単純に本当にいろいろあとナーフが影響が、デーモンハンターはもともとすごい練習してたんですけど、それでデーモンハンターがナーフどこかでされるのかなって思ってたんですけど、デーモンハンターが不利な相手ばっかりナーフされていって、最終的に例えば九州ウォリアーのカニライダーがデーモンハンターすごい苦手だったんですけど、あれがナーフされたおかげで九州ウォリアーも普通に簡単に倒せるようになったし、ね、一番苦手だったヒーローのパラディンもすごいナーフを受けて、まあなんか僕が練習してるデッキに対して強いデッキばっかりナーフされてって、そこはすごいラッキーでしたね。
I'm glad you brought that up. We'll talk about Demon Hunter a bit more later, but I'm also glad you brought up Alutamu and Glory, because I also saw you post on social media that the first half of the season you kind of spent mostly practicing with Treads Red, but in the second half started more with Alutamu and Glory. So I've always been curious, what's the default practice situation like for the Japanese GMs? Like Derek and I always assume it's like the same lineup because you're always practicing together, but you just said that it only started in the second half. So who do you most often practice with, and are you more likely to go to Alutamu and Glory when the meta is set, because you said they are better at refining decks?
まあやっぱ日本語ができて一番強いプレイヤーたちだから、まあやっぱ練習していて安心できますね。でまあ来シーズンはその多分ホンブレ選手がトラヒゾン、まあ、新しく日本人の選手がもう一人多分グラマスに入るので、ちょっと日本人4人で本当に同じデッキ持ち込んじゃったりすると、まあなんか逆にターゲットも日本人に勝てばいいやみたいなターゲットのされ方とかされるのもちょっと怖いんで、まあそこはまあ周りの出方とか、まあ、僕らの中で実際やってみてどうなのか次第ですね。まあ、最初ちょっとやってみるとは思います。
Got it. I'm gonna look forward to that. I mean, maybe it's not even just Trahison, right? There's other Japanese players like Okashinsuke that are up there in the point standings. Really depends on Dalaran, right? But I'm glad you brought up the Japanese Hearthstone community as a whole, because I always see after every win that you guys get, the outpouring of support is so passionate. And I wanted to ask, do you feel pressure to continue what Glory started and be the second Japanese Hearthstone World Champion 2 years in a row?
まあ、そこまで感じてないかもしれないですね。まあ、また世界選手権が近づいてきたら、まあ、もしかしたらプレッシャーを感じるかもしれないですけど、今はまだみんな勝って喜んでくれてる段階でまあそうでもないです。
Okay, I'm glad. Sorry to bring it up. You can worry about that later. Okay, moving on to the lighter questions now. When Blitzchung had his interview with Daruk, he actually said that he was really happy that you took his #1 seed in playoffs so that he would have to face as few of the Japanese GMs as possible, like Blitzchung and Surrender, and I'm sure the rest of the field in APAC see you guys as the biggest threat in Grandmasters. And do you agree that you're the strongest practice group? And if so, then who is your rival, whether it's in APAC or outside of APAC?
まあそうですね。まあ実際他の選手と調整したわけではないですけど、まあそのアルテム選手とグローリー選手はまあ上位5人の中には入ってくるとは思うので、少なくともまあ一緒にやってて心強いですよね。でまあやっぱサレンダー選手がやっぱ一番意識はしてますね。今回も正直サレンダー選手がもう上がってきたらどうしようみたいな気持ちで結構決勝待ってたんで、まあ正直ちょっと安心しました。ブリッチャン選手に失礼かもしれないんですけど。
It's good to know that there's this mutual respect amongst you players. as for another question, it's more about like your image on camera whenever you're playing. So I don't know if you know this, but Daruk and I are always joking about how rarely you smile on camera. I'm pretty sure the Japanese casters also joked about that. So after you won last night and you had your big celebration, a huge smile, it was really awesome to see that for the first time. But also, it's very entertaining to see when you have those moments like waving goodbye to Tom after you relegated him, or throwing out the oops emote at Alutemu when he roped out against you as OTK Demon Hunter. So is it all right with you if we just keep saying that you're a savage? Because I think you are, in a good way.
大丈夫ですけど、大丈夫です。あんまりアルテムにウップスって打った記憶すらないんで、もう体が勝手に打ってるのかもしれないですね。残忍なのかも。
That's amazing. Okay, I'm very happy that you're happy with it because this is your image now, Posesi, forever cemented. But I wanted to ask more about Demon Hunter in particular because this season, a lot of people in APAC, including Alutemu and Glory, made a lot of big mistakes with this deck in terms of rope or maybe not using the right combo pieces. But this weekend, your play on Demon Hunter looked flawless. So do you think the deck is actually difficult or is everybody else just bad at it?
まあむずいですよね、さすがに。考えることが本当にたくさんあるんで、結構多分他の選手もラダーとかだったらうまく使えるぐらいだったりすると思うんですけど、やっぱ緊張してるとかってなると、なんかもう考えることがめちゃくちゃ多いデッキ、やっぱ緊張するとすごい弱くなっちゃう、もうミスしやすくなっちゃうんで、まあちょっとみんな練習が足りなかったのかなって正直思っちゃいますよね。
Okay, I'm really glad you ended with that line because I was worried that you were being super respectful and then completely overthrowing the savage tag that I just gave you. So good job, Posesi. Okay, my last question has nothing to do with recent events, but I've always been curious. On Twitter, why is your profile picture Ice Howl of all cards?
あれは結構僕がハーストーンでラダーで上位を取り始めた頃に、ドルイードにアイスハウル入れてみて、それでなんか結構勝てて楽しかったで、なんか1位もちょっと一瞬だけ触れたのでアイスハウル入れたリストで、なんかそれで結構お気に入りのカードになってて、でそこからまあ特に変える理由はないのでそのままアイスハウルにしてます。
That's fair enough. I don't even remember a deck where Ice Howl was viable, but in any case, I'm glad that you have a favorite card. I'm glad that you've won Posesi. It's very, very well deserved. So thank you so much for taking the time in this interview. I think I'm gonna butcher the next line, but waza interview ni kotaete kurete arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very, very much, and good luck again next season.
Thank you.